That. What do you think of that? Garfield's insulting you. Oh, and away we go.
Shade.
And an early flute in Sanctuary.
Oh, hi, flute. Everyone's going to get that flute except for OC, who is doing the uncle start. Which is unpopular because of how popular it is. I'm not even kidding. Like it's so popular among most racers that like the top runners don't do it anymore just to differentiate themselves. There's nothing wrong with the uncle start.
I almost always use the uncle start, but it's funny how metas form that way.
Yeah, eventually everybody's going to start copying like Willard and Boyan and everybody, right? And stop doing the uncle start, and then they'll start doing it again because nobody's doing it anymore. Oh, they're going straight to the Lost Woods. It's like, oh, that's a fire rod on Lumberjack.
Oh.
Okay, it's there is a chance that we don't need the fire rod to finish the game, but we probably need the fire rod to finish the game.
Yeah, it would take a pretty specific layout of pendants. And of course, at the level I play at, Fire Rod is de facto always required, but these guys are a little better at the game than I am.
Yeah, so the Fire Rod's used for getting to the back of Skull Woods, for getting through Turtle Rock. Typically most of Turtle Rock, but only always the right side of the beginning and the boss. And then it's also logically required for the right side of GT, although that is sequence breakable with a lamp. A unique item.
First sword.
It's the best unique item. Willard checking the stun price. Just 5 rupees, though. Things not looking that great for Willard. He's going into Kakariko. He has 30 rupees and 0 bombs. Typically in this situation, you just go into Blind's hideout or the well and just hope you find some bombs.
Yep, not Boyan, though. He opted to farm south of the Haunted Grove.
Yeah, definitely going to be rewarded for that. Ariel walks down and checks back of tavern first, hoping for bombs that way, but no luck. Oh, he flutes away, though.
So much divergence so early. Osei doing South Shore. Willard J. Bradley already up on Death Mountain.
Everybody abandoning Kakariko as soon as they realize they don't have any bombs. That's so unusual to me. I feel like everybody just like dives into Blind's hideout and just gets some bombs that way. That glove in the, or that sword in the back of Sahasrah's hut, though, gives OC the option to go into mini Moldarm Cave here. He doesn't need bombs for this, just one to open it. This is some really awkward routing.
My eyes are bouncing around like I'm playing a 4-dimensional game of tennis. There's a glove in mini Moldarm and powder.
Oh, nice. Eventually somebody's just going to go into the well, and there's probably just going to be bombs in there, right?
Well, let's find out. That's what Boyan's up to.
Ariel finally picks up 50 rupees and is able to buy some bombs. Oh, look, bombs in the wall.
Commentator's curse. And not a whole lot else down there.
Ever since they took the capacity upgrades out of the general item pool, like the odds of getting through Kakariko and not finding a bunch of bombs is really low. But I understand, like, they didn't want to risk it. Having to double dip those locations is exceptionally slow. I believe that was there was bombs in Blind's hideout too. No matter where you went, you were safe.
Oh, and another glove.
Hey, wait a minute. Those are 2 different gloves from 2 different places. If we had both of them, we'd have 2 gloves.
Then we could play patty cake for realsies.
Blaine, unfortunately, is still short rupees for the bottle merchant.
In fact, have we seen anybody collect bottle merchant yet?
No, I don't think so. This is by far the most awkward routing I've ever seen. Like, everybody's going everywhere at different times.
Certainly in the early game.
Boy, unfortunately misses that hookshot clip. He has to reset the room. It's one of those tricks that's like so easy that you stop paying attention to it, and as soon as you do, suddenly it's hard again. Introduce yourselves. Hi, I'm Coy. This is me.
And I'm Ben Creighton. And I'm trying to think.
Interestingly, my name is also Ben.
Oh, I'm glad you didn't go for the real name screen name thing, or this could get a little confusing. I'm trying to think where our runners can go next. We haven't seen Bottle Merchant. We haven't seen Agina. We haven't seen Zora. Could it be the fabled Zora progression in a pretty rupee light early game?
East Death Mountain, I think, is going to be the major source of progression for us with the loot and the hookshot. Likely Moon Pearl and Paradox Cave for Myth's Dark World access.
Fair point.
But at this point, you know, we can't even roll out like Aga for Dark World access. And Moon Pearl on the Pyramid or something. Although it's less likely.
Well, knowing it's likely going to be logically required for Fire Rod anyway, who knows?
Yeah, if we had access to Aga, I wouldn't be surprised to see somebody just go straight to Aga when they had other checks to do.
Not worth worrying too much about until we start seeing things like Boots and Lamp. We'd need at least one sword, we'd need a cape. Well, one more sword or a cape, I should say.
Bottle Merchant, just a piece of heart.
Oh, an error giving us our first look at Backside Escape.
He does find the key back here. I imagine he'll do the dark. Nope. I think he found the key and the map, so like there's definitely an item in the dark room, but not everybody likes doing those dark rooms. Maybe Willard will show us the Dark Cross chest. You're heading up the mountain, though. Looks like he's going to go up and check Spectacle Rock Cave before heading over to the Hookshot Lock side. And Willard also saving quits out of the back.
Looks
Nothing
like
in the cave.
Giving us a look at the Desert Hermit.
Yeah, it's a pretty typical check when you have like early flute. Like Agina's cave is so far out of the way that typically you, like most players will put it off for a very long time, waiting to like mirror to it from the Mire area, and that's it's very risky to do that because it is Sphere 1. It's been available the entire game.
And it is the Moon Pearl. Well, that's Dark World access for Blaine.
Yeah, he can even get to like Dark Death Mountain now. like I say, like most people like put it off for a very long time, but it always runs the risk that it has something really, really good that you kind of need.
Yep, and that's going to save
move.
Blaine at least one trip up the mountain that most of our other runners have made at this point in order to check Dark Death Mountain and Paradox Cave on the same trip.
Maybe he'll do the dark room?
Nope.
Oh my god. Nobody does Dark Cross anymore? What is this? Okay, OC though. OC's gonna do Dark Cross. Surely. My god. We're just not seeing Dark Cross today, you guys. it's not for today.
Aurora gives us a peek at half magic up on Floating Island.
Yeah, I don't know. It just feels a little weird to me that they wouldn't do Dark Cross from that position, because finding both the key and the map means that there's definitely an item in Dark Cross. So it's not like you have the chance to skip it.
Yeah, it's hard to think of when you would rather go there.
And going there from the back with the sword is actually super simple, especially for runners as practices these, and it saves you from having to death warp in Zelda Cell. But to each his own.
Yep.
They may just not want to sequence break it. Who knows?
Ooh, and there's our Master Sword in frontside escape.
Well, we know for sure that the lamp's not in Dark Cross. So OC's in a pretty good spot here with this Moon Pearl that he has. I guess we're calling that French vanilla boomerang, right? It's boomerang in the boomerang chest, but it's the wrong boomerang.
Some might even say the worst boomerang.
It is pretty terrible. See, and now Boyne has to death warp on 4 hearts on the screen card. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Whatever.
Yeah.
Although there's the benefit to doing Dark Cross from the front rather than from the back is you don't have to find the key rat. Which can be super annoying, but again, it's not that bad with a sword.
Yeah.
Poor Arier, though, has yet to be over to Sahasrarla's hut. Does not have a sword. Although now he does. He had to kill that first guard with bombs, unfortunately. And it looks like Willard's going to do Super Bunny Cave with OC, but Willard does not have the Moon Pearl, so we're going to see a sequence break.
Yep. And OC, on the other hand, will be able to proceed along to Hookshot Cave, which is...
yeah, a lot more valuable.
He's also giving us our first map check.
Yeah, Green Pendant Thieves, Pendant, Ice Palace. The reds were in some dungeons as well.
Yep, which does mean that fire rod will be strictly required in order to get into Skull. So we do have an Agaseed.
Without a doubt. I'm not a big fan of the sequence break that Willard's doing right now because, like, especially with the hookshot and the mitts already in hand, right? Like, he's definitely going to come back up here for Hookshot Cave at some point, and the Moon Pearl is not going to be in Super Bunny Cave. And just going through Super Bunny Cave without the Moon Pearl is a tad slower.
He does get the blue boomerang for his troubles, but that's about it. Not much to justify the time loss.
That was pretty justified. Blue boomerang is the best meringue. All right, this very early Hookshot Cave check. Is it going to pay out? We got some bombs.
The ether, which was required to get into Turtle Rock.
It's pretty helpful.
Yeah. Not much until he gets the hammer and the red cane, though.
I think we'll probably see him head over to Mire area next. See, I have that direct line into their brains. I know exactly how they all think, except for Dark Cross, apparently. No, this is pretty standard routing. Like, if you have mitts and flute early, you just run over, check Mire Shed before you do anything else.
Yeah, it's two checks.
Plus, you get that Mire medallion information, which was ether as well, I thought.
Yep, according to our lovely, talented, generous with their time trackers. Keeping us honest here. Thank you very much to Captain MD and Link Force for taking over tracking duties today. And it looks like Aussie
You wouldn't
doing
dare.
an early Mire dip.
He wouldn't dare. Would he do that? Without a fire source at all?
I can't imagine why else he'd be moving in this direction.
Ooh.
He's not doing it for the memes.
You know, I do like the early Mire dip. Like, I'm a big fan of like an early Mire dip without a cane, but not so much without a cane or a fire source. Like, quite a bit more of the dungeon is locked out.
Yeah, with only 2 potential items in here, and you only have access to half the checks. It's a heck of a gamble.
Yeah, it's just a low percentage play. But that doesn't mean it can't pay off.
Oh, yeah?
Who knows? Maybe it's Lamp and Canis Maria in this dungeon. It's possible.
Yep. Just go right through Murder Vidi right now. Why not?
Looks like everybody else has got their Moon Pearl except for Mr. J. Bradley.
Meanwhile, Arior giving us, I believe, our first look into the dark town area.
Yeah, he'll go through front of Skullwoods here and then probably check Bumper Cave before heading south. Mitt's Darkwold access is really awkward because like you have to start here in the village.
And it's such a long track to get back if you orphan any checks.
Yeah, which you're going to be forced to because you don't have the hammer to get everything in Thieves Town or to do hammer pegs.
Yep.
No mirror to check the mirror lock locations. And hopefully find some flippers. Oh. That's actually kind of good. He can get into Ice Palace now. Fun.
Yep, it also opens up a few light side checks, which nobody utilize the fake flips to get to.
Oh, he found the big key. Now he has to go into the big chest too. So he goes into Mire without Fire Source or the Palace and Mire. Does he go into Ice Palace without... oh my god, a Fire Source!
But he opts to peace out. Well, I suppose he would. That was the second item.
Yeah,
here,
he has
so,
to.
Yeah, there's not going to be anything in the fire-locked side.
Okay, so he makes this big gamble to go into Mire without the equipment to finish it. Does he go into Ice Palace without the hammer now? That's the question. He is? Are you serious?
Well, it could be checking the fairy fountain.
Okay, he might like swim up to Hobo first. Nope. Wait, nope, he changed his mind. Fire source locked in Mire. That is not a gamble most players are willing to make, to go into Mire without fire source at all, until you have like a left side hint. So hopefully, like, the boots are available soon-ish, so other players have the opportunity to like get the fire rod first.
So the question is, knowing that this is a fire rod locked seed, which do these runners? I know what I do first with my poor darkroom skills. Are we going to see some darkroom Aga 1 before such a dry-looking Mire check?
Well, I believe only one of the runners even checked Lumberjack, so that information is not readily available. That the fire rod is up there. That was a bow, I believe. Was I imagining? I might have been imagining things.
I'm afraid I didn't see it either.
Yeah, I think I was imagining things. Yeah. Just ignore me.
All right.
So Willard, with no flippers, has decided that fake flippering is the play. He's doing this to head over to the Zora area, still looking for that moon pearl that's unfortunately in Agina's cave. Well, I'm disappointed that OC didn't follow those flippers. I don't know. I feel like you make this really huge gamble to go into Mire, and it actually pays off. Like, you got to continue it, right?
You got to figure that's your big advantage at this point, but maybe that makes you feel like you have room to do some safer checks first.
It is possible that the only use the flippers have here is to get you over to the East Dark World. Although the lamp gives you Aga access, so that's not true. Yeah, now that I think about it, like, he has full access to Aghanim 1, which would give him East Dark World access. There's a book over there on Stumpy, though.
So all of our East Dark World access is hiding in Mire right now, until we find that hammer.
And poor Mr. J. Bradley heading into Eastern.
Yeah, it's hard to fault him. This is
a little surprising not to see an Agina Cave check out of him, just because he does have that flute.
That's true.
Like, it's pretty standard to do like a quick Agina check when you get an early flute. But I mean, like, as far as like odds go, it's like more likely to be an Eastern, right? Just because there's more checks. And plus, there's still the possibility that Willard just finds something else in Eastern. Like a vanilla bow or something like that would be quite powerful for him to get really early.
Yeah, certainly wouldn't hurt to have the hammer before he gets that Moon Pearl. Would ease up his Dark World routing some.
Boyne turning in the blacksmith here. Very uncomfortable check to do this without a mirror. Just it's a single green rupee though. Feels bad, man. And Willard's out of logical places to check in Eastern, so he has to sequence break to this Dark Room, which he knows is probably not going to lead to this Moon Pearl, but can still be something good.
Yeah, it's right here.
It's kind of weird. It feels like nothing anybody is doing matters at all, except for OC. And he's not doing the thing that I want him to do. I think Boyne's gonna finish the ascent without the hammer. Oh no, this is his first time. I thought he was
Holy moly! The hammer!
Oh, Willard! Willard's refusal to check Agina's cave paying off. He gets a early hammer that everybody else is going to be hunting for quite a while.
Unless OC should stumble upon a bow somewhere in Ice Palace or someplace.
Yeah, the worst case scenario for everyone else is if the hammer locks the bow, right? Like if the bow is like in hammer pegs or something, then Willard's actually in like an amazing position right now.
And Willard finally making his way to the Moon Pearl.
Yeah, he ran out of places to go. So he last locations his Dark World access, but it's not that bad because now he has a hammer.
Yep. But an early Eastern dip is not so uncommon. He may not realize that that's giving him a nice little advantage over at least our three other restreamed runners.
The only three that matter.
To us.
Well, I mean, the only ones I have any information on whatsoever.
I'm getting late-breaking word that literally every non-restreamed runner has the hammer already.
As he's walking out to check this pyramid, probably going to head over to Catfish next. Instead of doing what he knows in his heart to be the answer and to dip Ice Palace.
That will be very interesting to see whether he does Ice Palace or Eastern first. It's going to be a double dip either way, but if you have to choose to double dip one, I know which one I choose.
Ice Palace.
Yeah, clearly, obviously.
I mean, why else do you have these darn flippers and the Bombus medallion, which does nothing else? The lamp is also like a really telling item, though. Like, we haven't really gone anywhere that's lamp locked except for Eastern. And instead we find a fetch quest on Mr. Catfish. Oh, he's going down to Pod. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, looks like
I can see that. Pod's fine.
That's a lot of checks. Unfortunately, I do not believe he has a potion to get into the bow locked section with the potion glitch. which does limit the utility a little bit.
I still think it's an ice. I don't know, man. I mean, it's easy to say, like, you know, he's got the lamp that leads to the hammer in Eastern, but I mean, that's not a reasonable play, right? Like, of all the things he has available, like, Eastern's like the last place you want to go at this point.
Boyne completing a very clean blind fight and collecting a green pendant. We'll see if that pays off for him. Willard J. Bradley also heading into pod.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he feels behind, right? Because if he last location that move roll. I would have thought he'd go like full clear Thieves Town or do like some sequence or something. Like put that hammer to use. Go to Hera even.
Yeah, well, without the flippers or the lamp, as far as he knows, hammer is the East Side Dark World access. So to him, this is putting that hammer to use.
That's true. Well, no, because the hammer was lamp locked.
Oh, that's right.
And then give him East Dark World access already.
That's true. So this is still a logic break.
Purple chest not paying off, but Wayne's got to choose somewhere else to go. Maybe Mire? Nope.
Oh, looks like he might be heading after a hammer now, too.
Yeah, it does look like an Eastern play.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's going to turn in green pendant, you see.
Ah, of course.
Well, if this is nothing, he may go into Eastern anyway, just because he's over here.
Yeah.
And
only a big 20.
Nothing. Arier, meanwhile, has found his way into Misery Mire, where he's going to be super rewarded with flippers and lamp. This is a very rude seed. Like, nobody wants to go into Mire except for OC.
Yeah.
And if you get the hammer in Eastern before going into Mire, it's very unlikely that we're going to see like Willard go into Mire anytime soon.
And that does open up a lot of other checks for him, although and the bow is in pod in Harmless Hellway.
Of course it is.
Like, why wouldn't it be?
Why would it be anywhere else?
Why would it be in any other palace that you've been itching for people to go to?
God, it's so frustrating. So Willard gets his hammer and then goes to pod without the bow, only to find the bow. Completely skipping out on the hammerlock locations. Rando gonna rando.
Nothing much in the dark maze. Willard taking a death warp.
Dying in the dark is a lot harder than it should be.
Some pretty good sync between OC and Willard, but only Willard has the means to head down to Helmasaur.
So with his newfound flippers, Arier wants to do some flipper checks, but he's a little shy on Rupee, so we get a Houlihan from him. What's worse, what makes this even more frustrating for me as a viewer, neither of them came prepared to do the bow side. Like neither of them had a potion with them. So like this is already like a huge gamble because the whole dungeon could have just been bow locked the whole time. And instead they find the bow and there's zero punish whatsoever and all reward.
I mean, it's that kind of seed between this and the Mire play. Why would you go anywhere with the means to clear the dungeon you're entering?
Willer picks up his shovel on the bowlock side and will continue on to Helmasaur King, the only runner that can do so. By virtue of that super early Eastern Palace dip.
OC, meanwhile, will show us just exactly what that shovel's going to be worth. Not much, as it turns out.
Oh, it was a sword in Waterfall Fairy. That's what I thought was the bow. You think Aria's gonna do the Ice Palace dip?
Someone has to, right?
No, like going into Ice Palace is quite terrible. It's a pendant. You can't full clear it. Why would you ever do that?
Yep. And with hints turned off to boot, you don't even have that little bit of extra value to justify it.
If he had his hammer already, I'd say it looked a lot better than normal, but I still don't think he would do it.
Yeah.
But I still think there's something there. It's just that kind of seed, you know?
When we could have the thematically appropriate ice rod there are possibilities.
It's probably the boots. Right, because that would mean Bombos locks the fire rod.
Oh, actually, that is a strong possibility.
Which is honestly like one of the most common scenarios you see in Rando is Bombos and fire rod locking each other. But we'll see. It could literally be anywhere.
Yeah.
So Area is actually going to go after Aga 1 here. He does not have the boot, so he's not going to be able to get the fire rod quite yet. But I assume that he has the information that the fire rod is there. So Aga 1's something he's going to have to do anyway.
I believe he was the runner who checked it.
Okay, Willard didn't die. He's fine.
Yes, with only one heart to go. "38 minutes in, I do believe that's our first crystal dungeon completion."
GG.
Looks like OC's about to pick up his own hammer. In logic, even.
Yeah, you're right. That's true. He's doing things the way the game intended them to be done. Which unfortunately means double dipping Pod and Mire. I guess you had to double dip one or the other between Eastern and Pod, though. Like, there was no way around it. Willard also heading back into one of his double dips. He's going to be able to finish Eastern here. What are you doing with that maiden, Mr. Aga? What are you? Where? Don't do that! Oh my god, this guy! Get him,
Very
Arier!
rude.
Get him!
She was sleeping. I hate it when people wake me up when I'm sleeping.
And Bwayne does find his way to the hammer in Eastern Palace, just as Willard J. Bradley did. But a bit later. Where do you go, though? Pod? Yeah, he goes to pod.
Yeah.
Oh, changes his mind.
And our final sword, hidden behind Armos Knights.
That's all 4 swords. Oh, Bwayne's doing magic bad. Let's go. It's the magic cape. I assume we've seen Bumper Cave. I don't recall it, though.
Nor I. I suppose it puts Spike Cave in logic, if nothing else.
Yeah, that's true. Well, slowly but surely, we are running out of places our progression's going to be, and Ice Palace is looking better and better and better. That's the funny thing about Rando, though, is like even if I'm right and there's totally progression independent Ice Palace, and like if one person goes there and gets all the things, you know, there's still other things in other places, and just God visioning to one item isn't going to be enough to like automatically take a race.
Yeah, for as much diversion as we've seen, it's hard to call anybody as having too much of a lead at this point.
I think Willard probably looks to be in the best spot currently. But again, like he hasn't done like all of the West Dark World checks that everybody else has done. So they have the opportunity to catch up while he's doing those. It looks like OC's going up to Hera.
Oh, and there's our red cane in hammer pegs.
Hey! It does make going into Mire feel a little less risky, because if you happen to find the big key, you can get to the boss. But still, no fire swords going into Mire is a huge gamble.
Yeah. Dead Rock's being very rude to OC.
Wow.
Just wants to see what's on that tablet.
Sitting on the bridge, it's so mean. Bwayne's actually going back through the East Town. He's already killed the boss here. This is specifically to get the big chest item. Not Firelock today in Hera. Oh, I just thought of something.
What's that?
Ted's and logic.
It's true. Ped boots would be extraordinarily rude.
Just blue mail in that big chest. Not the worst thing to find, but definitely not worth the time that Boyne spent getting it.
Yeah, certainly for runners of this caliber. Oh, and there's the boots in Tower of Hair, a big chest.
Okay, Ice Palace does not look very good anymore. Okay, so the boots gets him to the fire rod, which means the only thing that we, as commentators, are looking for now is the mirror and an ice rod. Actually, that's actually quite terrible because, like, you don't want ice rod as like your last item, right? It feels really bad because the ice rod could just be anywhere. But you don't really want your mirror before the ice rod either, because then that means that the ice rod could be in all the mirror lock stuff.
Yep, and a late mirror. Those checks are just scattered everywhere. It's such a pain.
So I think ideally in this situation, we just want like the mirror and the ice rod to be right next to each other somewhere. Like put both of them on laser bridge. I'll take it. So following the spy cave check, OC's probably going to do the boots checks, and he'll find out about the fire rod on Lumberjack. And his path through the game is much easier to define. Meanwhile, Willard is now doing all those checks that everybody else had already done, but he has the hammer on his first trip, so it's going to be pretty good for him. Like, he'll be able to single dip through Thieves Town if he chooses to do the back, and he'll get the Canis Mire on his first pass.
Looks like OC's giving us our first look into desert.
This scene's so weird. I don't like it. I feel like everything has been in a horrible place.
Well, Blaine is taking a trip into one of those horrible places. He'll be picking up his flippers and lamp in a second here. Willard J. Bradley piecing out of Thieves Town after the first 4.
That's a little surprising to me. It's I mean, like, it's a pendant dungeon. He doesn't want to full clear it if he doesn't have to. But like, he got that hammer in such a horrible location. Like, you got to think, like, this hammer is the reason I'm going to win if I do win. Which would value full clearing Thieves Town. Looked like a red rupee on Bumper Cave. Not sure that he checked it so quick.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure it was.
I also thought that tempered sword was a bow, so. OC continues on to Len Molas. Arier, with his newly found bow from Pod, gonna finish Eastern. And Boyne on his way to the lamp. And I don't know what Willard's doing. Just walking around, killing Gibdos, doing what he does.
Wayne taking the opportunity to single dip and proceed on to Vitreous.
Yeah, this is actually quite fantastic for Boyne. But so far this seed, it's been OC with all the big brain plays. He was the first to make that Mire dip. He's even the only one with the boots. And unless the mirror just happens to be somewhere soon, I think it might be a long time before anybody says, you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to climb the entirety of the mountain the longest way around just to get to a pendant dungeon and spike cave. Let's do it. Looks like OC is gonna finish up the crystal dungeons that he knows he can full clear before he does those boot checks and finds out about the fire rod. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Although OC's main barrier right now is how long is it going to be before he goes to get the hammer pegs, the Palace and Mire.
Well, having already found the progression in Mire, I don't think it hurts him too much to put that off for a while. The only other thing it opens up is Turtle. Nobody else has been in there yet either. And he's already found everything else there is to be found on Death Mountain, so it won't cost him another climb up.
Yeah, everything's made more awkward by this lack of mirror. It's pretty likely, he finishes Pod, then he gets the booch checks and finds out about the fire rod, then he does Aga, gets the fire rod, and then what? Skullwoods, surely, right?
Sure.
And then, but where does he go after that? Because it's not like Hammer Pegs is like, hey, come to me, I'm right on the way. He can't. It's horrible to get to at this point.
Yeah, it's
I
not.
think maybe I don't know. I think he might go to Ice Palace before he do that, but he also has the opportunity to finish Thieves Town, which is kind of paired with doing Hammer Pegs at this point. Or he might just check Hammer Peg just because it's so much quicker than doing a whole dungeon.
Yeah, I suppose if you can figure if it doesn't pan out, Thieves Town is right there. It's less density, strictly speaking, but it's easier to hope that you'll find what you're looking for quickly.
Willard coming up the mountain just for Spike Cave, though. He did not come here from the Light World, so no boots. And Wayne, though, opening up Turtle Rock, he does not have the Fire Rod or any way to get to it. But he does have that Canis of Mire, so it will let him check to see how far he can get without a Fire Rod. Which potentially takes him all the way to Laser Bridge, but more likely just 1 or 2 chests.
Yeah, you almost don't want to find a small key in here. Just give me my progression or let me get out, please.
Unfortunately! Let's see what our wonderful friends, the Chain Chomps, are guarding today. Just a big key. Okay. This is what you want to see in Dwayne's position. And OC walks into Lumberjack Cave and is like, oh, hey, I need that. Shoot. Oh, darn.
Like...
Now I don't get to watch. OC's not going to give us any interesting information for like 5 more minutes.
It's like Willard J. Bradley on his way to a boots discovery.
Yeah, he finally got bottlenecked enough that this looked like a moderately okay place to go, and he's going to get super rewarded for it.
And Bwayne, the dream's alive.
Yes!
Will we see
Finally!
some Ice Palace progression?
Although I don't think Ice Palace looks as I don't like progression being here. I don't think it's as strong as I thought it was earlier. Ever since we found out how to get to the Fire Rod.
True. Now, what are we hoping to see in here? Maybe the Ice Rod.
Yeah, Ice Rod and Mirror.
Yeah.
It's still not terribly unlikely that there will be progression here.
It's 3 checks. Not a whole lot of places that can boast that much left at this point.
Yeah, I think the main location right now that we haven't seen yet is Turtle Rock.
Yeah.
And no one can do that because of the Fire Rod. OC's on his way, though.
Yeah. He will likely be the first person able to make that play.
Oh, except that he hasn't gotten the Canis of Mire. That's right.
Oh, that's right.
Like Ice Palace and Ice Palace having like the Ice Rod or something could definitely be like the difference maker here.
Speaking of that, Cane of Samaria, looks like Arrear's about to get his.
OC has a ton of hearts, but Green Mill makes Death Warping way simpler. This is Willard's first time to Hookshot Cave. Oh, right, because he did the Super Bunny glitch earlier. Kind of frustrating for him because he just found out that Ether is required to open TR. And then he finds Ether in Hookshot Cave, but he doesn't have the mirror to get back to it. But I mean, essentially it's a good thing, though, because he wouldn't have been able to get very far.
Yeah, frustrating for him, but we know it'll save him a little bit of time.
OC, hurry up. I want to see Turtle Rock.
Well, we will likely have at least a little bit to wait after this, because the obvious next move is to clear
Skull
out
Woods,
Skull.
I guess. Then, yeah. Boyne's still headed here through Ice Palace. Nothing of note yet.
Yep.
Also, Pedestal, I believe, is still very much alive. No one's checked that, as far as I know.
Yeah, not that I've seen either.
And the items we're looking for, the Ice Rod and the Mirror, they can both be on Pedestal.
The dream of the fabled Captain Crunch's Oops All Dungeons. Still alive.
Now Willard, with his boots, finds out that, oh look, the Fire Rod. Hey, I need that! Real easy decision from here to go to Aga1.
Just a bottle and a piece of heart so far in Ice Palace.
It looks like Boyne will head on to Cold Stare for that third item. God, this seat's so bad. It's weird, like, because so many items are in really uncomfortable positions that it doesn't matter how many God Vision plays you made. There's always, like, one more that you didn't.
It's true. Cold Stare goes down, and he is holding.
We shall never know.
Nope.
What's in the box? What's in the box? Harrier swiftly taking out Vitreous here with some sweet damage boost strats. While OC, with the horrible villain of the game, Aga1, finally defeated, is able to collect his prize from the Lumberjack. What was this, like 20 rupees or something?
Something like that.
Our tracker informs us that Boyne had actually found all 3 items in Ice Palace before Cold Stare, so he was just killing Cold Stare for the pendant. Thank you, Link Force. Oh, OC's gonna check pad.
Ooh.
There's no other reason to enter the Lost Woods from here.
We get to see if Boyne's Cold Stare kill was one more big brain play and a seed full of them. Just a shield.
Rip.
Rip head.
Ice Palace, even. So yeah, that just leaves like Turtle Rock, right?
And this fat fairy check that Arrear's about to give us.
Oh, that's true.
And she does have an ice rod for us.
Ice Rod. I'm getting distracted by everybody telling me that Boyne forfeited. Feels bad, man.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I mean, it makes sense though. Like once you realize you full cleared this entire dungeon, and it was appended, and most people weren't going to do that. Like the odds of you getting a good time after that are just real not so good. Well, GG's to Boyne.
Yeah, come to think of it, Boyne, since these qualifiers, you do drop your best and worst time. Had Boyne used his default yet?
I don't know. Probably not.
Yeah, because at that point, there's really no downside.
Pretty quick moth fight there from OC. Rewarded with the map and his 4th crystal. Okay, so here is the moment of decision for OC. Where do you go from here? Because Ice Palace does not look that bad. Like, it's 3 more items. But what we know he needs to do is to go to Hammer Pegs and get that Canis Maria. Looks like he thought about death warping, but after seeing his heart count, changed his mind.
Yeah. Wouldn't save you much time, if any. Well, he looks like he might be beelining to Hammer Pegs. He's taking the long way back.
I think you're right. This definitely looks like a Thieves Town and Hammer Pegs play. Thieves Town is on the way to Hammer Pegs, but Hammer Pegs is so quick, I think he might just do that first. Oh, he hasn't done the front of Skullheads.
Ah.
Okay. All right.
That looks like our behind-the-scenes magicians might be doing a last-minute swap here, bringing in Shady Force into our lower left quadrant.
Okay, well, we have no idea where Shady Force has been or not been or what items he has. So I think Shady Force is in the lead, you guys.
As far as you or anyone else knows.
Possibly in last place.
Equally possibly somewhere in the middle, but I believe either first or last.
Okay, we know for sure he has a flute. I think we saw a bow. I don't think he has the fire rod.
I'm seeing hookshot powder. Our trackers working to
I think
catch up here.
It's pretty safe to assume he has the hammer because he's already been in this dungeon. Also pretty safe to assume he does not have the boots. All right, OC has done it. He's made his way to hammer bags.
He triumphantly dashes through those purple boops.
Is he still going to Thieves Town though?
No, looks like he opts not to.
All right, so he should go to Mire next, right? Because he can full clear that and get his second red crystal.
One would think. And then that'll lead him, of course, to the lamp and the flippers.
Well, he has those already, but it leads to the ice rod at Pyramid Ferry.
Oh, sorry. Just getting my runners mixed up. Of course, Ose was the one with the big brain play to get those in the first place.
Well, this is his punish for doing that, right?
Yeah, it's true. Seemed like a big brain play at the time. Didn't wind up leading to too terribly much. Or at least no more than any of the other myriad strange plays.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. Like, you make this really big brain play, but it ends up not really saving you time. Like, Willard, this is his first trip into Mire, and he's going to be able to find the flippers and lamp and catch up to OC quite clearly. Green pendant has been turned in. It was just 20 rupees. This has been, I feel like a broken record because I keep saying this, but this has been by far one of the most awkward seeds I've ever seen. Like, it does not matter how many big brain plays you make, you are behind.
It's hard to imagine any of our runners knowing which way is up in relation to each other at this point. Do you feel behind? Do you feel ahead? Do you know? Do you care? OC with his cape and butter sword strats making short work of Vitreous. It's one of those bosses that's so satisfying when you go in with the right loadout. He's given you so many problems so many times. Just putting him in his place feels so good.
Okay, so OC takes down Vitreous. This gives him access to Pyramid Ferry, which, if he does that right now, will let him single dip TR. Which likely has the mirror. Or maybe definitely has the mirror. We're at a fetch quest, aren't we?
Let's see, we've seen Shovel, we've seen Mushroom.
Yeah, I think we're out of locations. Like, it has to be in TR.
Have we seen Graveyard Ledge and King's Tomb yet? I feel like
we
we
saw
have to
King's
have.
Tomb, but Graveyard Ledge is mirror locked.
Oh, right, of course. It can't be there.
Or can it?
Ha ha!
Oh, no, I can't. Spoofed batter? Oh, Magic. No, we did see Magic Bat. Okay.
Yeah, we have.
Willard also grabbing his big bomb. He'll be able to get the ice right here as well. This puts him on par with OC as far as like the items go. Unfortunately, Willard still has to go back to Desert and to Skullwoods. And OC headed straight up to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, when you've got a location that item dense and the gear to full clear it, hard to imagine taking the time to do much else.
Looks like Arier is just a bit ahead of Willard, about a dungeon ahead. And OC about a dungeon ahead of him. So as far as like who's ahead and whatever, it's starting to come really clear now.
Yeah.
Late in the seed after everybody's finally made all of those terrible checks. Unfortunately, no go modes.
Although it seems likely that the mirror is going to wind up being the go mode for most, if not all, of our runners at this point.
Yeah, it has to be. And I believe it has to be in Turtle Rock, too. Oh, that was a nice Waffle House drive-through from Willard.
Really satisfying seeing him show those dead rocks who's boss.
Oh, and some real sexy poke dash strats there from Arier on Mothula. God, the seed though, dude. I feel real bad for these runners.
Willard and Arier heading into Turtle Rock, just a couple rooms behind OC. But of course, Willard still has Desert yet to do.
Yeah, and Skullwoods as well.
Oh, you're right.
I mean, those are relatively quick things to do.
True. Still, barring some equally trolly GT big key placement, this does appear to be Aussie's race to lose.
I'm not sure what happened with Willard. He was going the fast way and then stopped shooting the fire rod. Maybe he missed a shot.
Still no sign of that mirror yet. It's looking like it might be hiding back on Laser Bridge.
Yeah, fairly typical for Turtle Rock. It's a lot like Pod, with most of the keys being in the front.
Yeah.
So despite like all the progression being in like completely random locations that nobody ever wanted to go to, at the end of the seed, everyone has eventually gone to all of them and gets bottlenecked into Turtle Rock for a go mode mirror.
Ironically, the one insane gamble that didn't wind up paying off is the one you spent the first 45 minutes clamoring for. That Ice Palace play.
No mirror on Laser Bridge.
No. I haven't been counting items. I'm not sure if it could be on Trinex.
That has to be. Like, there's nowhere else we can go. Unless we've forgotten something.
I tend to never discount the possibility that I might have forgotten something. Especially in a 4-person race where my mind is being pulled in 4 different directions trying to keep track.
Oh, OC, what are you doing?
With the butter sword, though, you've got some room for error against Trinex.
Oh my god, you guys, I can't believe it. We finally found the...
Big 20! Oh, mirror.
Mirror! So this isn't, it's not last location for OC, but this is last location for us. There was nowhere else in the game that mirror could be at this point.
At an hour 23 and change, the first of our 4 restreamed runners enters Go Mode. Just a quick Go-moded Swamp Palace, and then a GT to go.
OC does have a very strong lead at this point.
He's roughly half of a dungeon ahead of Error, who is his closest competitor at this point.
I feel like we've been ignoring Shady Force. Poor Shady Force. Unfortunately, Shady Force is quite a bit behind at this point.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like he hasn't been up to Hera to get those boots yet, which means no Fire Rod, which means no Mega 1. Oh, Shady Force did do Aka 1. These are Aka guards outside Eastern.
Oh, yeah. So he did that before picking up the boots in Hera.
I imagine he probably did an early lumberjack check and knows that Agam was going to be required. He just hasn't found the boots to get him yet. Oh, looks like he's headed there now, though. Arier and Willard both finishing off Trinex. Arier just has a Go Mode Swamp to take care of. Unfortunately, Willard still has Skullwoods and Desert and Swamp. Each a quick dungeon in their own right, but still a non-zero amount of time to catch up.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, this being Willard's second trip into Desert, he can head straight to Backside. Arier.
Shady Force, no! Don't do it, Shady Force. What are you
Oh,
doing?
no. Oh, no.
No, go to Hera! Oh, no. That's bad. Oh, that hurts. Don't walk into the port. He did.
Well, I was about to say, fortunately, it's not not that far before he realizes this is dry, but lacking mirror, that does mean he'll have to climb all the way back up to get into Hera. Arier entering Swamp just as OC defeats Argus. Nearly a full dungeon behind at this point.
And that was OC's 7th crystal.
And what does that mean?
That means that he can now get into Ganon's Tower.
And I notice folks in chat already making their guesses. Where will we see that Ganon's Tower big key?
Oh, I thought we were doing a skit.
Oh.
You were supposed to keep asking me questions. What's in Ganon's Tower, Koi?
Well?
No, you're absolutely right. There are 22 locations in Ganon's Tower, one of which will contain that big key that OC needs to finish the game. If you would like to guess in which of those 22 locations the big key will reside, do so starting 2 minutes ago. Poor Shady Force getting dead rocked on his way back up to Hera. And we made it. Ganon's Tower, but which direction do we go? OC heading over to the right side first. We call this the Hope Room because I sure hope the big key's right here.
Not today. He'll be continuing on to the right side. We didn't get our bets in. In my heart, I've already lost. I always bet 2.
I don't like to bet. My mom told me I shouldn't.
My mom told me lots of things.
Bussy finds his way to the compass room where he finds nothing. Nothing.
Oh.
And a big key.
That'd be number 5, I believe, yes?
Number 5.
Ah. Very clean, quick Mimic Room kills. OC not intending to give anybody a chance to catch up to him if he can help it.
Yeah, Area only just now about to enter GT. I don't want to say that OC will definitely win because, you know, really anything could happen. But runners at this caliber, like it's pretty rare to see the kind of execution mistakes that would be necessary for Area to take the lead at this point.
With only green mail, a bad Ganon fight could cause him some problems, but with Butter Sword, it would take some pretty serious mistakes.
Like maybe if he like ran out of magic on
like an area heading left side first.
Yeah, this is a little slower to get to the big key this way, but he's almost definitely going to be mirroring after Dark Magician's Room. And there it goes. Shady Force does finally collect its boost, which we'll get into the Fire Rod.
OC continuing to tear through Ganon's tower. Taking the time to check a couple chests, because why not?
He's hoping for silvers at this point, I guess.
Yeah.
Even like a green potion wouldn't be bad to see. Moldorm, please. Oh, okay. All right. Just for the swag of it, I guess. My God.
Adding insult to injury, leaving Moldorm half dead and humiliated on his little platform back there. Not even worth killing.
We're gonna ban that, right? Racing Council. Gosh darn it. Nice, clean Agatu. God, that was a fantastic Moldorm bomb jump. I practiced that for like 2 hours. I didn't get it once. And he just casually walks in there. It's like, oh yeah, here you go. That's how you do it.
I've got Butter Sword. It's not like this is a long fight, but you know what?
It was faster than killing Moldorm, though, wasn't it?
A little
like
bit.
Having to sit through the death animation.
Yeah.
Even saved a menu.
Equally showing no respect to Ganon with these dash poke strats. Just getting in on him.
Oh, OC missing the torch glitch. That's and then getting the blue Ganon. Oh no. This is bad.
He was making it look easy a second ago, but...
Yeah, he can only reliably get 1 spin per cycle if he's doing 2 lamps here. He should be able to get 2 this one. Oh, he's got a blue potion, yeah.
Yeah, he'll be
He
alright.
should just do double fire rod shots. So he's gonna have like a really awkward silverless phase here, but it's still not gonna cost him enough time for Area to pull ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, short of taking a dive down the long hole of shame here, I don't think Aussie has much to worry about. You were farsighted enough to ask the pronunciation of his screen name at the beginning. I'm sure I've pronounced it about 3 different ways, all of which I'm sure are incorrect.
Well, are we even sure that Mind of Me was right?
It's true.
She could have just been guessing.
Or trolling us.
the swag silverless slash. Wow, OC. Wow. Just styling on everybody.
GG's, OC. Or Aussie. Or Osei. Osei, can you see those 3 beautiful golden triangles?
Alright, I got the numbers for you guys. Alright, so OC does finish first on the race stream, clearly. And first overall, with a time of 1:39.07. But did you expect anything else?
The way he was tearing through GT, can't say I was. And it looks like he is joining us here in chat. Congratulations on a first place finish.
Hey, thanks.
Hey, will you teach me how to do that Moldorm bomb jump?
Yeah, Yeah, I really need to put a tutorial sometime.
Cassidy tried to help me, but I'm too stupid.
Right now, it's pretty much just copy exactly what I did.
So this is a fun seed, right? I'm sure. Everyone had a wonderful time.
Well, for me, it felt great because I made like all the right plays. So I was feeling good the whole time. Yeah, starting from that Moon Pearl at Agina, just everything went well from there.
Yeah, the Ygin and Merpearl ended up tripping up Willard, if I remember correctly. But like he got the early hammer as well because he ended up going into Eastern looking for the Moon Pearl.
Yeah, I did think that early hammer would help you a lot on this scene. Potentially.
And Arier also takes out Ganon and finishes second on the restream, second overall, with a time of 1:41.13. And we welcome Arier to the voice chat. How you doing? GG.
Oh, thank you, GG, Saucy.
I've been saying it like the whole stream, but this has got to be one of the most awkward seeds I've ever seen.
Really, I didn't think it was that bad overall. I mean, I guess the stuff that I did worked out in a certain way. I mean, finding Kane before, like, finding the boots and finding the boots so I could find Ice Rod in time. Because if I found Kane after I already had the Fire Rod, I would probably just dive TR after beating Mire. So things did work out in a proper way for me. The whole bow and pod hammer in EP was slightly awkward, but I mean, that's going to work out awkwardly at any point anyway, so it didn't really matter that much.
It felt to me like the logic led you to all the right places. As long as you don't follow Flipper's dice.
Which is unfortunately what Blaine ended up doing, which led to his forfeit.
Yeah, it was like early bombos, and Flippers were kind of early in logic. So I could see.
Yeah, Ice Palace did not look like a bad place to go for a long time.
No, I was kind of like at some point I only had 3 pendant dungeons left, so I was in a really awkward spot. No, I just decided to try to follow the book, I guess, or like just went for Hera because I found the cape, so I had like 4 locations there between Spike Cave, Ether Tablet, and Hera, and luckily I found the boots there, so I could get my Fire Rod.
Yep, that was my thinking for Hera. I had the cape and Ether Tablet, so just check those locations and got the.
Yeah, the whole theme for the seed was just going to places that typical seeds you wouldn't, like things you would normally put off for a very long time, like going into Mire without the ability to full clear it, Eastern and Pod not being able to full clear it, going the long way to Pendant Hera. But
I was first to Mire, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. But it ended up not even like being that valuable, like you doing that. It was more like the information of where the flippers and the lamp were, rather than having the flippers and the lamp that helped you.
Yeah, the lamp affected my logic, and the flippers too. Affected how I read the logic a lot. Because the flippers put me to Pod. Well, both of them did.
Yeah, you needed either of them in order to actually... Well, no, that's not true, because... Well, logically you needed the lamp to get the hammer, but I guess if you did Eastern before anything else, before finding the Moon Pearl, then you had really easy Darkwood access. Like, you could go wherever you want. And then Pod doesn't become such a bad option either.
If you really wanted, you could scout the Fire Rod and then do Dark Aga.
Yeah, but knowing that the fire... Like, doing Aga with the Fire Rod seems fine. Doing Dark Aga is really awkward if you know that the Fire Rod is on Lumberjack. So, I was really happy when I found the lamp.
I could see somebody doing Dark Aga, like if with the boots were earlier in the seed to get to the Fire Rod. But with the boots being so far away, you almost certainly got the East Darkwood access before having that option.
I thought Willard did target again, actually. Indeed.
He did not. Willard dipped Eastern Palace and got the hammer.
Right.
Did Willard then go to Hera right after him?
Nope, he went to Pod, like right away before like the West Dark World at all.
Yeah, my Ganon fight was so bad. I missed Torch glitch.
Yeah, but you finished it with the Silverless Slash, so you know it evens out.
I haven't done that before, so.
Oh, it was an accident.
Yeah, it evens out.
Oh,
My GT wasn't too pretty. I'm pretty happy with the rest of my execution though. I got some small slip-ups, but overall, especially after boots, it was just smooth sailing.
Yeah, I was feeling really good overall, so that's why I went for the bomb jump at Moldorm. And even got that first try.
And Willard takes down Ganon as well. He finishes third on the restream and third overall. Hey, look at that. We got
wow.
we got the trifecta. Time of 1:46:36. And we welcome Willard J. Bradley to the voice chat. Welcome. GG.
Hey. GG's.
Yo, GG, Willard.
GG.
That was a seed.
It was a seed.
Whew. I was feeling good going up the gauntlet and no one finished yet, and I was like, okay, that's surprising. Let's keep going. And then I never looked at IRC again until Ganon was exploding. And I was like, all right, I'll take that. That makes sense. I wasted a lot of time early game and mid game, kind of running around in circles with my Garfield head cut off.
Yeah, I was feeling pretty good. Yeah, I just needed two people not to do well. Well, one of them was Hitsuya, and the other one was Aussie. And of course, Aussie did well, so that was my top 3 chance.
Rip.
Yeah, I'm overall really happy with how I played the qualifiers. I only had really solid results, so like no real bad feelings about these qualifiers. I just wish I could have made the top 3 and went to SG Live, but that's how it is.
I feel like I played the qualifiers better than I'm capable of. 400s in a row. It's not possible. But
You got first place 4 times?
effectively. I lost to Willard and to Bonta by a few seconds.
Oh, you
So that's
got
good for full
highest
points.
score. Right, okay.
So I got perfect score now.
Sweet. It was just a weird seed. Like I found the early Mire dip that you did suspect.
Yeah, I'm curious what was the thought process going into there?
Like I'm a big fan of like the early Mire dip, but to do it without a fire source was like it seems
without
so
fire.
gambly.
You're right there. Like, feels gambly. But the things pointed me there, I didn't really think about a fire source until I was already in Mire area. But mostly, I didn't like my options for Dark World. I didn't like my just do Village of Outcasts and Hype Cave, and then have no idea what to do next.
Yeah, mid Dark World access is very uncomfortable.
And we had enough things leading to Mire that it made sense.
Yeah, I don't think doing early Mire is a really bad idea, because you can look at it 2 ways. It's either, oh, I can always come back later, and it doesn't take that long to get there. But you can also think of it like, well, dipping doesn't take that long either, so you might as well just dip it, see what you get, and then come back later, and you only lose like 30 or 40 seconds.
Yeah, well,
by just walking back to Mire and doing Mire 2. That doesn't take that long.
Well, the major gamble is to do it without a fire source. You're risking like a triple dip, right? Because maybe Mire was the play, but after finding the fire rod or lamp in like the front of the
I think that's a risk that you can take at that point. I mean, for me, it was probably not as bad because I mean, I probably wouldn't do it after or before doing the general Dark World stuff, like we just Outcast and Hive Cave and all that stuff. But I can kind of defend it.
I mean, it definitely paid off this seed with the fire source being in Mire itself, and then there being nothing fire locked at all anyway.
I was really, really happy when I found the flippers, and then just wanted to find the big key, and I found it, and then there was something in the big chest. Like the lamp was just... I was almost happier with the lamp than with the flippers at that point.
If I remember correctly, you were the only one to do the early lumberjack check to have the knowledge of the fire rod before the boots.
Yeah, I'm still not sure if whether it's actually good or not to do it. At some point, there are some moments where just knowing about it will help your routing once you find the boots, and at some points it really doesn't matter because once you have the boots, you'll usually check all those locations anyway. In this case, it didn't really help me that much. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, you had most of the time it took you to check it, like, refunded to you, since everybody goes there eventually anyway.
Yeah, but it's faster to check it with boots than without. That's the general idea. That's why most people wait until they find the boots.
Yeah, I find I only check it if I'm looking for resources off the bush crab or an extra tree pole.
That's exactly why I did it too. Because, well, the first item was the flute. And then I was considering just not checking Aga or checking Lumberjack, and I was like, but wait, I kind of want bombs because I immediately want to go into Kakariko to activate the flute and just clear it.
Yeah, the early game was super awkward for everybody in this one. I think most people, after getting the flute, went to Kakariko and activated it, and then left Kakariko without checking anything because they didn't have the bombs.
Yeah, that was the typical, okay, let's flute the 7s, do the damn stuff, and then go into Link's house, and then, oh, I have enough rupees, let's just go back to Kakariko and buy bombs. That was basically, yeah.
And of course, there were just
case
bombs.
Scenario.
There were just bombs sitting in both Kakariko Well and Blind's Head Out, just perfectly available.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I feel like it's probably worth gambling overall that there are bombs in there, since they removed the capacity upgrades like this or last logic update, because there are so many bomb packs in the world right now, so the chance that there is one in Kakariko Well or Blind's Head is pretty big, but
Yep.
It feels so bad when you don't get one.
I agree, it's very likely to find bombs in those chest dense places. But I got mine from Uncle or something, so it worked out.
And Shady Force does find our silvers for us in the double firebar room. Unfortunately, that means it's gonna last location the big key.
Oh, and there's the red mail as well. He'll have a nice easy Ganon fight.
I'm sure everyone was happy to see Mirror Go mode, though.
I was happy to see Ice Rod where it was. Didn't want to dip Turtle Rock. Without it.
Yeah, I think nobody really got tripped up by the Ice Rod in this scene.
Yeah, I guess at that point I was still thinking that Ice Rod would be in Ice Palace or Mirror in Ice Palace to Ice Rod and Swamp.
If it wasn't a Pyramid Fairy, would you have done Ice before Turtle Rock?
I I was thinking about it. Maybe. I played a seed yesterday of combo, and it was like Vitreous and Pendant Mire had flippers to Pendant Ice Palace's Cold Stare having the Ice Rod.
Ah, yeah.
So yeah, that was on my mind.
I mean, of all the routes, like you made like the most big brain decisions, right? Like these gambles that just totally paid off and were absolutely the right thing to do. But even doing those, like you can't have felt that far ahead.
I felt like I was making all the right plays, but then I looked at the timer and I think it was passing an hour and a half and coming up to hour 40. And you can't expect to just win off those times, no matter how you routed.
Yeah, once I was an hour in or something and still didn't have the boots and the amount of locations I had left with dwindling, I didn't feel so good. Like after the boots, like I said, it was all pretty smooth sailing, and I didn't feel too bad in GT because there were so many awkward like dips that you had to do. Like you had to either double dip Eastern or pod. You had to have a lot of Death Mountain climbs because of getting Ether first. And maybe you even just don't do Dark Death Mountain because you don't have the Moonpole yet. That's what happened to me. And then you had to get Ether again. Then you had to go to Hera to find the boots. Then you had to go to Turtle Rock to find the mirror. And then you had to go to GT again. So there's a lot of hidden time loss just spread throughout the seed. So the fact that the clear times were so high wasn't that surprising to me.
Yeah, any seed with like required double dips is it really dilutes the total time it takes to run the seed. Like in this one, like you had to double dip either pod or Eastern. There was no way around it. And with the mirror being so late, it was always going to be an awkward double dip too. No, just mirroring back over to pod.
Yeah, probably like logically required dip to Mire as well.
Yep, because the
You had to do
lamp locked
Aga.
the hammer, which locked the cane.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of unrealistic stuff you could have done in order to smoothen out the seat. Yeah, like you can't expect that.
Yeah, I think early hammer to early boots is like the only thing I could see being a big help.
Yeah, for sure.
Can't imagine someone doing that though.
Yeah. It's a big ask going the long way around to a pendant Hera. You talk about your big brain plays.
Oh, just with the flute and the hookshot being available so early, like you find flute and hookshot and then dip Eastern. It doesn't. Like, nobody does that. That might have been the God vision though. That's okay, Shady. Yeah, Ice Palace was the big bait this seed, though. Like especially like right after you found the flippers in Mire, I was thinking for sure it's going to be boots locked in Ice Palace, right, leading to the fire rod for Bombo's locking fire rod. But nobody fell for it except for Blaine, and he didn't even do it like because of that. Like he waited a long time before making that tip.
Shady Force giving us a nice triple on his Aga 2 fight here.
Force cycle, I'll take it.
Anyway, I'll hop out for now. Thank you guys for commentating and tracking and all that stuff. GG Saucy again. Really huge congrats on all the sick times, and I'll see you guys around.
See yous. That's right, guys.
Shit.
These qualifiers are for the seeding in the SG Live tournament, but they don't determine who actually gets to play. That's going to be, I believe, first come, first serve for those who buy a ticket and sign up.
I believe that's correct. The top 3 finishers in these qualifiers, according to the point system, do get comped travel expenses to attend SG Live, but other than that, it's for seating and honor. A big thank you to both of our trackers here today. They truly are the unsung heroes of speed gaming. Just behind the scenes, making sure we all know what's happening. Captain MD13 and Link Force Zero, thank you so much. As Shady Force brings the final Ganon fight of the restream to a quick close. Oh no, I spoke too soon.
Shady Force, what?
Oh no. It's a mistake we've all made at least once, but it never feels good. Getting a little too eager to close out the seed and taking a dive. I was running a friend through his first vanilla run through Link to the Past, just giving him the guided tour. And after he beat Ganon, I told him, don't get too comfortable. You do have one more obstacle before you can claim victory. And when he saw what it was, he laughed. I said, don't laugh. Everybody has done this once.
I'm not entirely sure what causes it. I think it has to do with like how high on the screen you are. But you can like regain movement of your sprite before the bridge actually appears. So if you're just holding up, you'll fall before the bridge actually shows up.
Yeah, you have to be pre-moving yourself toward the exit before Ganon's explosions start to get yourself to that point. So it's...
Oh yeah, it might be like if you're in motion when you lose control.
Yeah, I think it's just getting yourself into that position and, like you said, holding up too early. It's one of those situations where a little bit of knowledge is a dangerous thing. The knowledge to get yourself into that position.
All right, well, he's got it this time. Surely, surely.
Yeah. Taking no chances this time around. Clears the final barrier and claims victory over the pig.
That's right. Shady Force takes down Ganon and finishes 11th overall with a time of 2:04.54. It looks like we will be getting an interview from Shady Forest as soon as he hops up here. Don't make me drag you. Okay, I'm gonna drag him. Oh, there he goes. We got him. Hi, Shady
Okay.
Forest. GG.
Oh, I didn't realize I could drag myself in. I thought you guys had to drag me.
The power's in your hands.
I don't
Oh,
like
I
to
can-
drag
I can-
people. Because
So I can
like,
invade the commentary whenever I want. Nice.
well, sometimes people like they join Discord before they're actually ready to talk, you know, because it automatically puts you in that setup channel.
Yeah, fair enough.
So OC said this was like a fairly linear seat. He knew exactly where to go and what to do. How do you feel?
Well, I mean, okay, the seed was terrible, right? And I'm sure everyone found
Right.
that except Oasis. But but to be fair to this time, unlike the other 4 races, I played really badly this time. And you guys probably didn't see it because I assume you had Buane up first, so you didn't see all the shenanigans I got up to in the first half of the seed. But I played so badly, so this is totally on me this time. It's not even the seed's fault.
Yeah, we didn't get to see your gameplay until you were getting the blue mail out of Thieves Town.
Yeah, I mean, so like the fact that I was in Thieves Town getting the blue mail is like a hint because I went into Thieves Town without the hammer, which I'm happy to gamble, right? But I also managed to get to Blind's, the boss room, without having the maiden with me. So then I just rage save and quit, right? At that point, before realizing I probably should have just like come back down to get her. And this was the boss item and also the green pendant item, which was just hanging over me for the next 20 minutes. So I started making the most ridiculous gambly plays, you know, going places I probably shouldn't be. One of them paid off, I guess, because I went into Mire reasonably early. But I still kept making silly mistakes. You know, like I went to the Zora area without enough money to pay Zora. And I also jumped into Ice Palace, thinking that's where the progression could be before I even checked the normal Flicker Lock locations. Just a lot of bad decisions. I just wasn't really on the ball today.
Yeah, unfortunately, the seed like just so many of the progression items were in like less than desirable locations, like the lamp in. You have to like go dip into Fireless Mire to get your fire. You had to go into Pod to get the bow. The hammer was lamp locked in Eastern. Like everything was just a little gross, you know.
Yeah, I was shocked when I pulled the bow out of Pod because I didn't really think about it too much, but I assumed it was bow locked. You get a small key, but then like you run out of items. There's a big key on the bridge, right? And then I assumed, well, this is just a sequence break pod. I'm wasting my time. And then all of a sudden I pulled the bow out and I'm like, whoa, this is really unusual.
Yeah, so what's bow locked in Pod is dependent on how many keys are on the bow lock side. So if you find 2 keys on the bow lock side, then the Dark Maze and Harmless Hallway are also bow locked. But if there's only 1 key, then the only thing that's bow locked is those 2 chests and the boss.
Yeah, I guess I just didn't pay too much attention. It was interesting. It'll be interesting to see who's going to finish in the top 3 now. I think there's just 1 race left.
That's right. 1 race. I believe it's Wednesday.
Wednesday at 11:15 Eastern.
Yeah, so I think Osse is looking really good for it, and I think Asder's still in pole position, but I'm not sure who else is going to be in contention. Eri might be close, I think.
He was telling us that he lost all chance when he lost to OC today.
Oh, interesting. Maybe he needed to outperform him, but then that means who else is going to be in the top 3? Because I only know of Asder, who's in good position.
Yeah, no telling at this point.
Yeah, it should be exciting. I had some false hope of top 3 in this tournament because I had 2 very good races at the start, like 199.7. But that gave me just false hope because I had two terrible races after that. I played well, I just had bad races, bad decisions, like just unlucky decisions, I should say. So that kind of ruled me out. But it was fun for a while.
Will you be going to SG Live regardless of
I'm about 50-50. It's going to depend on some some stuff that's kind of out of my control, whether I can afford to and whether I can take the time off work and stuff like that. So it's a bit of a mission for me to get across the Atlantic to go there. I'd love to, because a lot of my friends are going to be there, but we'll see.
Oh, you live in one of those other countries. I read
Yeah,
about
I know, one of those strange foreign countries.
Canada, right? It's Canada.
I thought I recognized the accent.
Well, I think we're about to ready to wrap it up here. If you have any final words, now's the time.
Just thanks so much for commenting and stuff. I didn't even know I was on the restream, so it's quite funny to tune in and then see myself there.
Yeah, we kind of snuck you in there.
Yeah. Hopefully you missed all the bad stuff I did and just saw some reasonable execution towards the second half, I think.
I mean, as far as I know, you played really, really well. Maybe dipping into TR before going to Hera wasn't the best plan.
That's terrible. I'm glad you pulled me up on that. That was another ridiculous decision.
Yeah, I was like, when you started going up the mountain, it's like, oh, he's gonna get his boots, and then he like went right. What are you doing? Don't do that, shady. And he went
I forgot I didn't have the mirror, and I didn't put 2 and 2 together. It's silly.
It all worked out in the end. Ganon died. The world was saved.
Ganon died twice.
What more can you ask for? Alright, guys, make sure to follow these runners. They were all fantastic runners, even if they had varied results. OC 101, Arier, Shady Force, and Willard J. Bradley. And of course, our trackers, once again, were Link Force and Captain MD. I'm Koi on comms, and with me is the one, the only HBIGK. Or yeah, whatever.
Yep. Well, either Google it, you'll find me.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching Speed Gaming and the SG Live Qualifier Tournament. Stay tuned to the Speed Gaming channels 2 through 6 and this one as well for more speedrunning fun coming at you very soon. See you later, everyone.